Hey there guys, and welcome to another episode of Topic Thursdays, where every Thursday I share with you a topic on what to talk about when on a date, so we can say goodbye to those awkward silences. So stay right there. Okay, so this week the topic I would like to share with you what to talk about when on a date is your first car and the first drive alone, and when you were learning how to drive. This is a great topic to talk about because this is a significant moment in one's life where they learn how to drive and they take their driving test and they get their first car. So one of the questions that you can ask was, what was it like when you first got in the car when you were learning how to drive? Now I remember when I got in the car for the first time, it took me a while to get a concept of the clutch and the biting point, because in a manual gearbox, when you put the car in first gear, you have to release the clutch slowly to the biting point and then press the gas. But one of the things that I was doing when I first started off was I kept taking the clutch off, because I thought the way it worked before was you put the car in first gear, you take the clutch off and then you give the gas, but it was something that you do simultaneously. So it took me a while to get the concept of that. Passing your driving test, now it did take me 5 attempts to pass the test, because when you take your driving test in the UK, the examiners pick out faults and the nerves just got the better of me. I remember on my very first time I took my test, I got 3 majors and I hit the curb twice, just because the nerves got the better of me. So how many times did it take you to pass your driving test, and any stories behind that? Next, you can talk about the first drive alone. So after you pass your driving test, what was it like going for a drive that first time alone? I remember when I went out for the first time, it was like a bit of space next to me, because I was so used to someone sitting next to me, which was my instructor. So what was it like driving alone for the first time? And your first car? I got a 1 litre Hyundai Tucson, because in the UK, when you first pass your driving test, insurance is very, very expensive unless you get a very low engine, low powered, low spec car. So it's just a basic 1 litre Hyundai Tucson that I got. So I'd love to hear from you guys. What was it like driving for the first time when you got in the car, when you started learning? Did you pass your test your first time, or not, and any stories behind that? And also your first drive alone and your first car. Another thing which you can also talk about is depending on where you live around the world. So I live in the UK, so we drive on the left hand side of the road in a right hand drive car. So if the woman that you're dating was abroad, or she grew up abroad and drove, you can ask her what's it like driving on the other side, and when you came to the UK and started driving, what was that like? Because I've driven in Sweden, but for some reason I actually prefer it driving over there, but it does take a while getting used to, because I was looking for the gear stick on the left hand side rather than it being on the right hand side. So yeah, there's a lot of different ways that you can go with this when talking about your driving test. Well, that's it for today. I hope this has been helpful. You know the drill. Like, share and subscribe, and join me again next Thursday where I'll share with you another tip on what to talk about when on a date, so we can say goodbye to those awkward silences. Take care and bye for now.